I wanted them to control the narrative and tell me what is the message they wanted to bring out.
You may not think of art as the most important thing on a regular basis, but for domestic abuse survivors, it has turned into a symbol of hope and healing. Fashion designer Rachel Diane Epopa has collaborated with domestic violence survivors at a women's shelter in Montreal to create a collection as part of her community art project, Renaître.
I basically wanted the project to be equally about raising awareness, but also focusing about the transformational process that happened with the participant in the group. Women that have experienced domestic violence, what happens is that the abuser tends to separate them from who they are so that everything evolves around him. So when you've experienced it for a long period of time, you start completely disconnecting from yourself. It affects your self-esteem. You don't trust what you think, who you are. What is important about art therapy, about art or creativity in general, is a personal process. You go within and you start trusting again.
Epopa will be collecting funds until December 11th to produce the collection and provide financial support to the women who took part in this project. They will receive 20% of the sale price.
They made it clear that we want to be seen as strong women. We want this collection to represent different type of women, to be inclusive. We wanted women to feel good in the pieces that we are creating.
Art therapist Abba Singh, who has been working with domestic violence survivors for the past 20 years, says art can be an effective tool to help women rebuild their self-esteem after experiencing abuse. She runs weekly sessions at NDG shelter Auberge Transition with women who have left an abusive relationship and want to regain autonomy and control over their lives.
By, taking part in the art therapy program, they're building on how to regain self-esteem, becoming aware of what their weaknesses are, what strengths they need to gain in order to become independent, autonomous, be on their own. When they're looking for housing, for example, or going back to work, and being on their own, being able to do things independently rather than depending on someone who's time and time again told them they're not worthy. Through this program, they've learned to gain that back.
Something as simple as choosing the form you're going to create, the colors, it can appear very simple, but for someone who has been disconnected from themselves for so long, it's very important.
In Montreal, Andrea Beaumont, City News.